Hi guys, Tom Morrison here, and today we're going to go through how to achieve your overhead squat if you struggle with your mobility. Jenny's just going to demonstrate first of all what her overhead squat looks like, and it's very important that we take into consideration that Jenny is already flexible. Hooray for Jenny. You may not be, so your overhead squat may have to look different. So if Jenny goes right down to the bottom, she can pause in the bottom position, she can keep her chest upright, she can maintain externally rotated shoulder position, which is what a lot of people want to achieve. A lot of people can't achieve that, and they may have to look a little bit different. So if Jenny brings herself up a little bit, it's quite hard for Jenny to actually do this. You may need to have a bit of a forward lean in your torso. Your knees may not go as far over as someone else's would do, but we'll cover that in a second. And you may just need to have this more of an upright or a leaned forward position. Jenny, bring yourself back up again. So you may not be able to achieve that full ass to grass position, but it doesn't mean that you can't do the exercise. You just have to keep that in mind, and you just have to make sure that you're not chasing something that you physically cannot achieve based on your own structure. So the very first thing that you want to test is your shoulder rotation. So if Jenny just puts the bar down for me, and we have a stick here, first thing you want to see is, can you do a shoulder dislocate, okay? So if Jenny just goes up and around, that shows that she has the ability to keep her arms locked out and rotate well from the shoulder. So if she goes down to the bar and puts her hand placement at the bar, she'll be able to see roughly where she will be able to use her grip on the bar, okay? So you can change this around when it comes to your technique for your lifts and stuff, but just for a general to get you there, if you can go around with nice straight arms and bring yourself back through, that's going to give you the freedom to be able to rotate the shoulder as you actually go down through the squat. So if you do have to lean the torso forward, then you're going to actually be able to still keep the bar in line with the midfoot, which is from the side what you want. If we look at camera 2, hello camera 2, if we look at that, if Jenny goes down, what we want to see is that her bar is in line with the middle of her foot. So she's stable like this. So even if she brings herself back up into that position, she just adjusts everything, she's still stable. So again, this is weird for Jenny, but she's still able to support the weight in that position, okay? So they're the things that you want to be starting to work on first. If you can't rotate the shoulders around, then you need to work on your shoulder rotation before you'd be able to even start working on that. Other things that are going to be very important are your thoracic mobility and your hip and ankle mobility. You probably already have everything that you need to be able to do the overhead squat. Some people just have this idea built up in their head that they need a lot more mobility than they actually do. So what we're going to do, if we go to camera 2, is get Jenny down into a lunge position, okay? So what we're wanting to do is see how far we can get the knee over the toe. In that position, she can push her leg backwards, her back leg, but she can then rotate through the upper back in that position as well. So what we're working on here is deep hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, and shoulder rotation as well. So all the movement is already there, okay? Now Jenny has incredible ankles. Well done, Jenny. Incredible ankle flexibility. So if she rocks herself back, you'll probably look a bit more like this. If you're inflexible, you may not be able to achieve that same position that Jenny's actually getting to, but it doesn't really matter, because if we put a side-by-side shot here of Jenny when she's doing her overhead squat, you'll see that her knee doesn't actually come that far over the toes, so it's not actually a big issue. When you're here, what you can start to do is have a wiggle in the position, so Jenny can lift the back knee off and she can rock herself back and forward, just to basically try and build strength in this bottom position. So it's really important to do things like this and not just wait for something to happen. Move yourself around, let the muscles know what it's like to be in that deep position. What you're doing here, whenever you rotate, is through your upper back. You're getting the ribs to move a bit better, you're getting the upper back to move a bit better, and that is actually going to help you to keep your chest up better in your overhead squat. It's going to give you more freedom to be able to keep the chest up in your normal squat as well. This is a fantastic exercise to spend some time in. I would throw this into everybody's warm-up no matter what they do, just because it hits a lot of good stuff. So getting that knee as far over the toe as you can get personally, and again, if Jenny rocks herself back, that might be as far as you go, or it may improve a little bit over time, but you don't need as much as you think you do. Don't be chasing something that you may never achieve, okay? The main thing is that you're feeling strong in the position as well. So toy around, lift the back knee, rotate in the position, okay? So have a wiggle, move around, 5 minutes, and then after that, we want to go into our integration exercise. The most important thing is integrating your mobility work into the actual exercise. So you cannot just stretch your way around the overhead squat. You need to find a way that you can start to work on the movement in a way that looks like the movement. So what Jenny's going to do is get the bar back up in that good overhead position. She's then going to replace the heel of one foot with the ball of her foot and she's going to use that as her assistance to help her keep more upright. I want you to go really, really slow, Jenny, like slow as if you were just taking the absolute mick out of me. Slow as you can, and she's going to try and squat more into this one side. So she's trying to drive into this one side of the hip as much as she can. So her right hip right now, she's trying to get as far as she can. She can then use that to try and keep her chest up in that position. Now we'll let Jenny come back up to take a break for a second, but I want you to be meaner to yourself. I want you to spend time there. So if Jenny can try and hold herself up that little bit of where you would probably get to when you're going down, hold that position, just work on trying to lift the chest up. So you're doing your thoracic rotations, that's giving you more thoracic extension. You're trying to integrate that into the actual movement. Try and sit down into your hip as much as you can. If you're inflexible, you're trying to relax more into the position and try and get lower. You're not going to hurt yourself with an empty barbell, don't worry, but it's going to give you a bit of feedback. So you're having to work on actually being strong in the position as well, okay? So you're not going to get anywhere just using the stick by this drill. If you have that shoulder rotation, start to use this to work on that position, okay? So do sets of 3 if you have to, sets of 5 if you can. Pause at the bottom. It's the bottom position you want, especially if you're wanting to move on to like the likes of a snatch. You want confidence in that bottom position. After you've done 3 to 5 reps each side, try a full overhead squat. Now if you don't get all the way down, don't worry about it. Say you just get down to about halfway and you need to come back up. You'll find that there's going to be an improvement the more you do this, okay? So what you do after that would then be to set the bar down, start again. You go into your stretches, you go into your rotations, you do a few reps on each side. Use your breath as well. Breathe out deep, breathe out as much as you can and rotate further. Make yourself cramp if you can. It's quite a common thing. If you cramp, just shake it off, get back in again. It's a good thing, it means the muscles are learning. Then you'll go back into your kickstand squats again, okay? Make a circuit out of that. If you're wanting to achieve that movement and you're limited with your mobility, that's the only way you're actually going to get anywhere. To constantly keep on going between those two things, make a full circuit out of it. Your legs will feel pretty tired after it. Your shoulders will have to work out, especially if you've never been able to spend time with the movement before. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 2. You're going to have to just suck it up and get on with it, okay? So work on the kickstand drill. That is going to give you your integration and it's going to give you your overhead squat.